Hello and welcome to Story X Story, the podcast by Mayamada that dives deep into stories across pop culture, brings you closer to the people that make them, plus gives you advice on creating your own. It's episode 248, and I am your co-host, Nigel.
I am Tazziii, content creator, voice actor, and co-host.
And as always, we're bringing you interesting discussions with diverse voices. And to help us out today, as we speed through the galaxy at a pace, is script editor Sashi Gopalakrishnan. Sashi, welcome sort of back to the show because you have been with us on a live episode, but this is your first time on the main show.
Yeah, this is my first time, and thank you for having me.
Cool. And with Sashi is Games A chair and member of this year's Games London Ensemble, Sara Veal. Sara, welcome back to the show.
Yes, very pleased to be back. Feels like a lifetime. I think so much. We were talking about AI a lot last time.
Yeah, remember where we thought that was going to be a thing? Whatever happened to that? The AI thing. Yeah, who knows? Yeah, but we were talking about her on episode 213. So yeah, a little while ago. But yeah, thanks for joining us again. And listeners can subscribe to Story X Story wherever you get your podcast from. That includes Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube as well. You can also send us your feedback and questions in a variety of ways. You can chat with us in the Mayamada Studio 77 Discord. You can email us studio77@mayamada.com, or you can throw your thoughts at us on social media. We are at Mayamada TV on Instagram and TikTok, and at mayamada.com on Blue Sky, or at Life of a W Gamer on Instagram and TikTok, and at Tazziii on everything else. You can also head to mayamada.com to discover the Mayamada brand, including our universe of characters, the events, the activities, and other shows that you can get involved with as well. There's also a link to that Discord. Next up on Mayamada, we have an upcoming Studio 77 report. This is our digital platform and community where creatives at any stage can connect, grow, and create together. So we are on a mission to equip generations to thrive on the creative journey. And we are looking for guests to share what they have been working on the next Studio 77 report live stream. So you can join us for 5-minute slots live. Or if you don't want to be on stream, you can share with us in the Discord what you've been working on, and we'll shout it out. So from our last episode in spring, it was all about renewal. So also inviting people to embrace renewal, share your fresh starts, your creative experiments, your reinvented projects. You can share that online on social media, use the hashtag #ImagineMore, or you can put that in our Discord as well. And then we will feature some entries in the next Studio 77 report for summer. So yeah, be part of the Discord, join the community, and come on the journey with us as well. So we've got the main story discussion to come, but let's get started with some of the other stories that we've been consuming recently.
So this is our spoiler-free discussion about what stories people have been reading, watching, or playing. And we'll start with our guest. So Sashi, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So I think it's mainly been anime, but I've been catching up on Frieren, Journey's End. I'm only on episode 5, I think, of season 2. And I've been watching weirdly, because this passed me by, I think, when it first aired, but it's Fullmetal Alchemist, the 2003 version. I'm actually enjoying it so far. And actually,
Wait, the
I am surprised.
2003 version, is that
Yeah,
Brotherhood?
no, it's not Brotherhood. I think
Oh, okay.
that's 2019. But it's the original one that came out in that awkward moment where the manga author hadn't finished the story. So they went off on their own tangent and ended it the way they could end it. But I am enjoying the story, and the thing I found quite surprising about it so far, I haven't finished it yet, is that it seems very relevant to our times. I was a bit surprised at that, because there's like a subplot where they have a war going on in the Middle East. So I was quite surprised at that one. But yeah, I'm enjoying Frieren as well. That's more of a slow-paced anime, slice of life anime, and I really enjoy like how it deals with the themes of grief and losing a loved one and how you cope with it. And I do like that it's sort of hidden in this fantasy package. It's a really interesting take, I think, on journeys and how you would overcome it and thinking back on the good memories you have. I think it's a quite nice, what's the word? Mediation
Wholesome.
on grief.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Love Frieren. It's good from start to end. I think you'll enjoy the rest of it. Sarah, what about yourself?
So I finished reading a book called Belonging, Remembering Ourselves Home by Togopat Turner. It's nonfiction and explores community and belonging. My therapist recommended it to me about 6 years ago, but I finally got around to it and I really enjoyed it. Felt like one of those books that you read when you need to. The author's really interesting. She's had a really, she seems to have been part of lots of cults, which kind of speaks to my fear about how when you work in well-being and community, you're very close to either joining a cult or leading one. So, but it was a really soothing book. And it just, one part I liked about it is that the author really likes helping people, but kind of doesn't really like asking for help. But then when she really, really needed help, she asked, and she realized that letting other people help her was a gift to them as much as it was a gift to her when she did it. So yeah, I thought it was a really good book. I'm really interested in the concept of belonging. I think it's increasingly more important to us. We can feel very disconnected with all the unprecedented things that keep happening around us. So yeah, I really recommend that. It's a nice companion for about a week or so. And watching, time travel's been coming up a lot. I really like the series Paradise, which has Sterling K. Brown in it and James Marsden, really good. And then I've got a lot of boring admin that I'm catching up on. So I just try and put on movies on in the background. And sometimes the movies are so good that I don't get anything done. But another one I liked was, I have to keep looking at the title. It's so hard to recommend because the title is Mike and Nick and Alice. It's a really difficult title. But it's like a time travel action comedy with Vince Vaughn and James Marsden. 2 Vince Vaughns, in fact, because of time travel. So that was really fun.
Oh, I saw that, like a poster for that, and the title just confused me. Or not confused, more intrigued, but probably a bit of confusion.
I don't think it's the best title.
I mean, it makes you sort of double take. It's like, what?
Yeah, it's just very hard to recommend because I just have to look it up every time I want to recommend it because I can't remember what order the names go in. And Mike and Nick are very similar names.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that sounds good. I love it. I love a good bit of time travel. So yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think it's probably one of my favorite tropes in sci-fi fantasy.
Nice. I guess I'll go into my list. Oh my god, I tried to shorten this. There's too many things I want to talk about that I've been watching and reading and everything. Okay, I'll start with the anime. So recently finished. I got a cheat skill in another world and became I can't even remember the rest of the title, which I enjoyed kinda. But I just want to say that it has one trope that really, really annoys me, and that's the main character starts out that they're overweight and they're seen as the not good enough for society, they don't look good, they don't they're the ugly one, the worthless because of their weight and how they look, and then gets a level up and then is suddenly buff and attractive to everyone and wears cool clothes, and I'm like, I hate that. Why could he not have just leveled up and without the having to need that physical transformation? Anyway, but I enjoyed the rest some I kind of enjoyed it. It has its problems, but it was a nice light watch. Anyway, moving on to Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting, which I absolutely loved, but also tells me that I need to dye my hair red and find a Yakuza man called Kirishima, because this is the second Yakuza show that has a character called Kirishima who's kind of a bit crazy, but has some weird soft spot. But it's basically about a Yakuza who's just gone off the rails, and his boss is like, you need to babysit my daughter. because you need to learn a few things about not going too far. And it's like weirdly wholesome because it's like the everyday lives of this Yakuza family. And then on a similar theme that was in my watch list but came up again after watching Yakuza Go to Babysitting is Buddy Daddies, which is about two assassins that end up adopting kind of a child, but they're assassins. So again, it's like the everyday lives of bad people in a wholesome way.
Like Leon meets three men and a baby.
Yeah. And then reading wise, I've been listening to the audiobook. I finished Castle in the Air and I've nearly finished. I'm like right at the end of House of Many Ways, which are both by Deanna Wynne Jones, who is the author of Howl's Moving Castle, the book that inspired the movie Howl's Moving Castle. And I'm really enjoying this book series. So it's a trilogy, and House of Many Ways is the last one. And I love that they all start following different characters. Like when I started Castle in the Air, I was like so confused because I was like, how is this related to Hal? I thought the trilogy was about Hal, but it all ties in the end. And I'm really enjoying how in House of Many Ways that things tie in from Castle in the Air. Because there's like one bit where I was like, ah! Like there was little hints, and I was like, oh my god, this thing that's from the previous one is now being brought forward, and that's how it's all linking together. Brilliant. I highly recommend if you enjoyed Howl's Moving Castle, the film, the animated film, then either listen to the audiobook or read the book, and then read the whole trilogy because like the fantasticalness of it is great. And I know there's rumors that they're making a sequel to Howl's Moving Castle. I'm hoping that it's based on the books and they do the trilogy, but I feel like they're gonna just go
Yeah,
off
I
on
love
their own.
Diana Wynne Jones. I love the way that she writes as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's so like just the magic is through the words. Kind of just it makes sense. Just read the books. Read the books, everyone. They're nice short books. They're written for children, but they're not childish. They're so well written. Like anyone can enjoy them. I also binged Malcolm in the Middle. Life's Still Unfair, which is they're all grown up and it's really good.
It's
It
good. Okay,
really,
that's good to hear.
yeah, it really like I feel like it still keeps a lot of the essence of the original. I just wish there was more of it.
How many
Uh,
episodes?
it's like I feel like it's like 6.
Okay.
It's a mini series, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people don't do like the 24 episodes anymore. It's just like financially just not a done thing.
Yeah. And I think what I liked about Life's Still Unfair is it kind of catered a bit to if people hadn't grown up watching it and then new to like I felt like it was something that like parents could watch with their older children, like teens and up, to like get their nostalgia hit and then like introduce their kids to Malcolm in the Middle. Because I know there's also the new series.
But a
But
new series.
so there's Malcolm in the Middle, like the original Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah.
There's a series that's like I don't know what the series is. I have a feeling it's to do with the youngest kids that we don't know about in Malcolm in the Middle,
Right.
the actual Malcolm in the Middle. And then there's Malcolm in the Middle, Life's Still Unfair, which is where they're grown up.
Yeah.
Is the but it's great. Yeah, it's got the essence, but is it's new. And then this is the one that I forgot to mention in a previous episode, which is Down Cemetery Road, which is an Apple TV series, and it's so good. Like the like it's about like a PI, like a private investigator, private detective, who is like hell bent on conspiracy theories, and then he finally finds one because the character, the protagonist that you actually follow, brings it to him, and she like sticks their nose in like a nosy neighbor to something because she's just got the complete wrong end of the stick. I think she's really unsatisfied with her life and is like trying to find some drama. Anyway, and then ends up on this whole crazy ass journey to like government conspiracy, chemical weapons, like lying to the public, that kind of stuff. It's almost real, which I normally don't like, but they've done it so well. And then the last one I'll mention, sorry to like mention so many, but is Margot. Margot's got Money Troubles, which is another Apple TV series. It's about she's studying lit in college, American college, and gets pregnant, and then finds interesting means to make money. Not quite got there, but that is the premise of the show. And it's like dramatic and full of like complicated family drama, but it's got like a really good comedy element to it as well. Yeah, that's my long list. Sorry, but there's a bit of something for everyone in that list, you know.
You can find yourself in Tazzie's list.
Yeah. Nigel, let me pass the buck on to you because there's actually one that I cut from my list because you're going to mention it. So
Yes, yeah, all right, cool. I'll get there. So I've got a short list, partly because I've forgotten some things, but if not, next episode. I did want to go back to Peaky Blinders, The Immortal Man, because I did mention it on the last deep dive, but at the time I hadn't finished it. I've now finished it, so I feel I can give a sort of complete assessment of that. And I said on the last episode that Peaky Blinders, one of my favorite shows. The ending wasn't as strong with the series, and I think that's partly because like one of the actors genuinely died. It's kind of like a Black Panther 2 situation, but just really enjoyed that. But I also appreciate that it could have just ended and they had a one-shot film to like wrap things up completely. And I think I said on the last episode that I don't know if it's good, but I'm here for it because I can get more Peaky Blinders. So now I've finished it. I feel the same. I don't know if it's good, and not necessarily because people aren't actors like Cillian Murphy, who plays Tommy Shelby, is always great. Got Stephen Graham in there, but I think just the nature of a film, at least for me, the nature of watching a short series, but series nonetheless, versus a film, it left me wanting just another. I feel I wanted that as a series, and that was a disappointment in me. Not necessarily that it was bad, just that it just gave me enough that I really like that. I really like to flesh things out because the Peaky Blinders series has a good habit of like fleshing things out, laying the pieces together. You know, because mostly because Tommy Shelby is definitely a sort of manipulator and always got plans. So seeing those plans come together, and you don't really get that same feeling in the film. But did enjoy the time with it, and I feel we've now got an end to it, an end that I thought was going to happen actually in the last series. But we got there, somewhat satisfied, but also a little bit disappointed that it's not a series. So that's that. The one that I believe myself and Tazziii are sharing is Wonder Man. Mm-hmm. So have you finished it, Tazziii?
No. I'm like midway, maybe. I don't know. I think I've watched 3 or 4 episodes.
Okay, cool. All right. So I started watching it. I finished it. I've now finished it. But I started watching it not because I was particularly familiar with the character, but somewhat familiar with the actor or the lead actor, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. Let me get the number in there. And Ben Kingsley as well. I'm just interested because from the trailer, at least what I got from the images and things, I don't think I actually watched the trailer other than when I actually started watching the series and Disney Plus then gave me the trailers of the thing I was actually watching. I wasn't sure what this was about, and I couldn't see how it's linked into what we've seen thus far from Marvel. And in a good way, it doesn't. This is the kind of thing I would like to see Marvel do more of. So it is definitely a Marvel property. There are superpowers, but at a glance, you would not take this for a Marvel series because it's very much not about the powers. For me, and I'll say this, and maybe Tazziii will agree or more or less when the more you watch, but there's about 2 friends. That's what I'm getting from this, and I feel really I felt really drawn to it. I just wanted to watch how this friendship developed, and it's putting in the interesting plot pieces where what's going to happen with this or when this penny drops. But it's just about 2 friends that the powers and everything are very much minimized. in the narrative, and I think it's all the better for. I think this is one of the best series from Marvel TV in a while.
Yeah, in a while. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I agree. It's about the friendship. It's kind of like this complicated friendship between two very complicated people and how they learn from each other.
Yeah, because they're different personalities.
Yeah, such opposite personalities, I would say. I will say though, the one thing that bugs me about it is the like references, because it drops references, but not just like Marvel Cinematic Universe references,
Like
like
real world.
real world references.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
literally mention Severance, and I'm like, but it's not even your show.
Show, yeah. That's a different subscription. Like how I have to get that subscription to get that reference. Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
like that's one thing that kind of jars me about it. Like I feel like I get taken out of the series a lot.
Okay, I get that. So I should say also that the premise of it is the actor Simon Williams secretly has powers, but he's an actor. When I say actor, not just the actor Yaha, but the actor in the show. So it's about him trying to build his career, and he builds a friendship with Trevor Slattery, who is played by Ben Kingsley, and he is the Mandarin who we've seen in, was it Iron Man 3? So that's canon, that's in there, and it's known that he did that role, and then there's all consequences of that. So then, because they're actors, they're talking about things that can be acted on. So yeah, other shows come up, and other people come up as well. So I get that. I get that. It didn't necessarily jar me, but I can see how that would be jarring, especially non-Marvel properties being very specifically mentioned. And I also think the fact that he's a struggling actor specified that as well. I think that journey is
He's more than just a struggling actor. He is an annoying struggling actor. Like he thinks he's the script writer, director.
Yeah.
Gets a small role and he's like, I think we should change this and like, yeah. He's a very specific type of human being.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting that, and that gets him certain reactions from certain people. So yeah, but no, interesting to see what you think about it when you finish. But I like it. I think that's like I said, that's the kind of thing where just do something different, and it doesn't always have to be the same formula. I know obviously it has worked, less so in recent years, but yeah, just your Disney, do something different. There we go. It's my motivational talk for the powers that be at Disney. And to wrap up with mine, I've been reading Saga. So I got volume 12 of Saga. I actually got it early in the year, just taking me a while to actually get to it and start reading it. So yeah, this is a great comic series. Image Comics, created by Brian K. Vaughan, who's writer, and illustrated by Fiona Staples. It's how would you, I think on the Wikipedia page, it describes it as Star Wars meets a Game of Thrones, which there's a lot going on. It's very much a space epic fantasy soap opera. It starts off with basically the relationship between the two main characters, Alana and Margot, who are from different sides of an intergalactic war, and they have a kid, and that is a no-no for various reasons. So yeah, it's about their journey and the many, many twists and turns. What I really like about this is I'm really fascinated to know how they create the characters, because this is it's intergalactic, and I feel they really lean into that in terms of like the character design. It's just like it is all over the place, and I mean that in a positive way. It's just new characters come up. It's like, you look completely different than this last character, than this other characters, which is what you'd expect with something that's takes place across the universe. So yeah, I think it's a fantastic series. Whenever I talk to people about what I do, and I mention comics, and I usually bring that one up, age dependent, but I bring that one up because to me it's an example of people might have a negative perception of comics that is just for kids. This is definitely not for kids. And this is the one that I bring up that I feel like adults can get into, to realize that comics are a medium, not just a genre, and a genre only for kids. It's just, great storytelling, and very much I appreciate also the consequences stick. Yeah, so consequences stick around for sure. Recommend that for anyone who hasn't read it or just has a negative view of comics. I mean, I guess you wouldn't be listening to this if you did, but yeah, negative view of comics and might want to change their opinion. This is one to hopefully do that. So that is what I've been enjoying. Those are the stories that we've been collectively enjoying. Now let's get to our main story discussion. Today, we are here to talk about the Super Mario Galaxy movie, which is the 2026 animation based on Nintendo's Mario video game franchise. It's produced by Illumination and Nintendo, directed by Aaron Horvath and Michael Jelinek, and written by Matthew Fogel. It is the sequel to the wildly popular The Super Mario Bros. Movie in 2023 and stars Chris Pratt, Anna Taylor-Joy, Charlie Day, Jack Black, Keegan-Michael Key, with Benny Safdie, Donald Glover, Glenn Powell, and Brie Larson joining the cast this time around. So, spoiler alert, I will do a recap of the story, but let's first get everyone's quick takes and general impressions, starting with our guest. So, Sara, do you want to let us know what you thought about this story?
I really enjoyed it. I maybe go into this more later, but I think part of why I really enjoyed it is because I only have quite a peripheral understanding of Mario lore. So, yeah, I just found it quite interesting and unexpected and fun and quick.
Yeah, quick. Yeah, definitely quick. I feel definitely this episode will be longer than the film, so take that as you will. Sashi, what about yourself? What were your general impressions of this?
Well, I'll say the game that it's based on apparently won Nintendo first ever BAFTA.
Oh, it's a classic game. Yeah.
Yeah, this is nowhere near. This is
I love how you started that. This is great, and this is not it. Sorry, continue.
it's just to me, because I watched this movie I think 2 weeks ago. It's a very bland, forgettable movie for me. And I do remember coming out of the cinema thinking, wow, that was quite quick, but in a very bad way, not in a good way, be blunt.
I like it. All right, Sashi's got thoughts. I like it. Tazziii, what were your thoughts?
Sorry, I've just got like a Lily Allen song in my head. Oh, that is not family friendly, but it's kind of a good way to describe this film. Okay, so my initial thoughts, other than it's quick, it was over very quickly and not in a good way, is this film was doing way too much to, while also not having anything of substance. And I'm always so positive, but like I feel like there's not much to glean from this for me. I haven't played the Mario Galaxy games. They're ones
good.
that I know
Yeah.
they've been on my list for a very long time. I literally have remake of it. But yeah, I feel like if I had played the games, I would be more disappointed.
Perhaps.
I don't know, but it just felt like it was doing there was way too many references for like
it's 40 years of Mario, but a lot of references to fit in.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I don't mean it as badly as this is gonna come out if you know me, but this is feeling very close to the Ready Player One movie in terms of. It felt like it was just trying to get all those references in rather than.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let me clarify why. Rather than actually like trying to tell a story. But I mean, it had some elements. I felt like it was for TikTok brains, basically. Like,
yeah,
it was just his thing. Nothing, but what are you telling? Where's the beginning, the middle, and the end? Like, where is the thing? Like, where's the stake? Where's like it was very just
you built a house and not put in the structure.
Yeah, like it was like the skeleton. It was like yeah.
Okay.
It was like how Bowser was at the end of the film.
Yeah.
Actually, he had more substance than the film.
Okay, it's going to be a fun discussion. So because on one hand, like visually, I enjoyed it. It looks very good, but I think I agree in terms of because I put the notes together, so there's a bit of your behind the scenes, and which I'm about to do. I put together the summary, and I think when I did this, I put it together, and I glanced back at it, and I was like, I'm not sure if this makes sense. I've written down the words that I'm about to read. I'm not sure if this makes sense. This is an interesting way to make a film, and very much so because the first film had a core that maybe this film doesn't have, and I wonder why, because it's the same people making it. So yeah, I think I tend to agree with what you guys are saying, and so I want to explore maybe why. I'd love to ask someone who was on the team of making it that process of the first one compared to the second one. But I'll do this recap, see if it makes sense on on a second glance, and then we'll get into it. So this is a story that takes us to space eventually, where Princess Rosalina is kidnapped by Bowser Jr., who plots to drain her power to create life to fuel a universe-destroying cannon in honor of his father, Bowser. Okay, hopefully people are still with me. Meanwhile, Mario and Luigi are called to inspect a disturbance in Tostarena Town, where they quickly discover and become friends with Yoshi. A Luma sent by Rosalina arrives in the Mushroom Kingdom, where it calls for Peach and Toad for help. In their absence, Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi try to protect the Mushroom Kingdom. But Bowser Jr. lifts Peach's castle into space to free his father, but then drops the castle into the Honey Hive Galaxy. Bowser gets Mario to attack and unshrink him, but soon offers to be arrested for damaging the fields in exchange for the brothers and Yoshi getting transported to the Gateway Galaxy. Cool. So while working, Bowser gets abducted by his son, and in the Gateway Galaxy, Toad's backpack is stolen by a monkey thief who takes it to a hidden casino where Peach meets Wart, the casino's owner, who she forces to reveal Rosalina's location, the Space Junk Galaxy, another galaxy where we're zipping through these, but then alerts the Bowsers about Peach. Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi reunite with Peach and Toad, who hired Fox McCloud to transport them. Fox's air wing crash lands into Fossil Falls after an attack from Bowser Jr., who transformed Mario and Luigi into babies for some reason with a super scope. Bowser starts to express regret over double-crossing the brothers, but soon returns to his old ways to bond with his son. Yoshi finds the super scope, rescues the brothers, and restores their ages. Luigi then alerts the Lumas to pick them up in the Comet Observatory, where Peach discovers that she has the same powers as Rosalina, her long-lost older sister. So Fox, Toad, and the Lumas use the Comet Observatory to get the group to the planet Bowser. Mario and Peach confront Bowser, with Luigi and Yoshi helping to defeat the Bowsers with power-ups. Peach revives Rosalina, and they transform planet Bowser into a new world. Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi help the sisters, Toads, and the Lumas rebuild Peach's castle super quick there, and Peach kisses Mario on the cheek as a thanks. Fox then sends the Bowsers to prison before heading home to his galaxy. Back at the Gateway Galaxy, Princess Daisy prevents Okiki from committing, that's the monkey, another robbery. The end. Did that make sense?
Yeah, that was fairly accurate to what I just watched.
Okay, cool. All right.
It made sense, but as you was reading it, I was like, that's why it felt so empty.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, which one of those is the plot? Like, there's a lot of very loose threads that, like, none of them are really weaving a story. They're kind of still just like, just on the spool, you know?
Yeah, still spinning. Still spinning like the many galaxies in this film. I mean, from a, why do this? It's probably the most no-brainer of a film in recent times because the first one was so successful. And in 2021, the Nintendo president Shuntaro Furukawa said that Nintendo would be interested in producing more animated films based on its IP if the first Mario film was successful. It was wildly successful. So the first film had some mixed reviews, but made 1.3 billion worldwide, became the highest grossing film based on a video game, and the first film based on a video game to reach the $1 billion mark. So again, no brainer. Are you all collectively or people surprised that like both films now? Because this second film is also very successful commercially. Are you surprised that they've been so commercially successful?
Yes and no. I mean, I think it's I mean, there've been a lot of video game adaptations lately, and I think that Super Mario Brothers movie is probably one of the most successful of them. Like, I think it's
Yeah, for
regarded better
sure.
than like the Minecraft movie, right? Like, it's got a lot it's got a lot going for it in terms of the money and the IP behind it and the cast, but you never know. And it was like, my son hadn't played Mario before watching the movie, and the movie really won him over to the Mario world. So I think it was
Okay.
a really good introduction for like,
When you say
for
hadn't
like
played, is that like resisted playing or just not that aware,
just hadn't. I
interested?
mean, he's young, so like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, like, you know, whereas I've been like, Mario's been kind of around me for as long as I
Of
know.
course.
He's
Yeah.
only, he was like, I'm trying to do maths. He was like 8 when the first movie came out.
Okay.
So, but yeah, after that, he was really into Mario, and we played it.
Job done.
Yeah, it on board. I mean, that's what they do. That's kind of what the purpose of it is to
Yeah.
keep refreshing the generation's interest in it. But yeah, I thought it came together really well. Like, it was fun, and I really, really liked the Jack Black song in the first one.
Yeah. It's a shame we didn't get any.
Only just a little bit of it.
Yeah. So
I feel like there was no iconic songage in this. I feel like the music in the first one was like
Better, yeah.
really good, and then this, I was like, I don't remember. The only musical note I remember is when they go into the casino. They play the song from Super Mario Odyssey from New
Donk.
New Donk City, which is a great song. That song is like on my regular playlist.
In that scene, I just kept wondering. I was like, is the way that scene was, you know, where when she stepped, the kind of perspective shifted, and like it seemed kind of like anti-gravity in the middle. Is that like what the level is like in what it's referring to?
Yeah, I think
New Donk.
Not New Donk, but
not New
Super
Donk.
Mario Galaxy. What this film has done has essentially mixed up the Super Mario level with the Super Mario Odyssey.
That's why I was doubting when you said, because I'm not sure how much of Galaxy you need to be aware of to to get this film.
They kind of mash them both together. I mean, the movie is kind of like that anyway, but yeah, that's how you kind of play the game, is anti-gravity, and it moves around in a weird way, and you've got to try and navigate that.
There is a bit in Mario Odyssey in New Donk City that has that. Yeah, I think it's a hidden level.
Oh, okay, I didn't get that.
Yeah, I thought that was a really great feature.
Yeah, the whole of New Donk City is like loads of different styles of play of Mario. So you go to like loads of if you get all the hidden levels. I'm pretty sure there is somewhere in Mario Odyssey a level, and I'm pretty sure it's in New Donk City that has that.
Yeah, like references kind of, because of I've only dipped in and out of playing Mario. I think the references, like, I don't know that they're references, but the way like the film lingers, and I'm like, oh, this is probably a reference.
Yeah, this is something. Yeah.
There's things
work
that I
to
didn't know that were references that I'm like, oh, this is clearly a reference. Like, that's what bugged me about it.
Is well, I mean, because we're going to talk about the story as it is, but I'm going to read a line that will probably make everything we're about to say completely redundant, because as of recording, or at least April, the Super Mario Galaxy movie, so it's basically it's made a bunch of money, 365 million in the United States and Canada, 400 million in other territories, 765 million worldwide. So whatever they're doing is working. And it feels, this feels like a film where it's almost like review proof, and I think both, to varying degrees, have proved that it almost doesn't matter. It is working. We know, we talked about a lot of video game adaptations. Sara, you mentioned there's been a bunch. There are different approaches. You also mentioned the Minecraft, which I feel has taken a similar approach, but I would argue better, at least than the second Mario film. Nintendo, is this the right way? Is this how you adapt a Super Mario Galaxy film? I mean, we're going to go into the Super Mario game into film. Obviously, we're going to go into the story, but do you feel like, just from a bird's eye view, or they're taking the right approach. In a way, I feel like they are. I feel this is how you do it, even though I'm not sure the quality of the film. I feel this is how you have to do it for Mario.
I think they've got elements of it. I think the first one done it really well. But I think the second one, I'm like, what? I mean, I'm glad it done well because it's not a good it's not a good film. And I don't want Nintendo to stop making films because they done a bad one. And I feel like they would if it done bad. They'd be like, right, we're pulling the plug on Zelda.
Yeah. Pull the drawbridge up. Like, see you in 20 years. We'll try again.
Yeah, I have a feeling that I'm not going to like the Zelda movie because I'm so into it that I'll be annoyed about whatever references they do pick or like how they chose to do something. Whereas like with this, because I'm not as I don't know as much about it. I'm like, it was fun.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting.
I still stand by. I think they were trying to do too much. Like they were trying to put too much. Like the blending, like Sashi, like you said, like they tried to blend like multiple games. I feel like it wasn't just Galaxy and Odyssey that they tried to mix in here. Like they tried to mash too much together, and it meant that it was like it just wasn't cohesive. Whereas they could have like done less, and the impact would have been more. And then just done another sequel, like which they kind of set up to do.
Oh, they're definitely doing.
Yeah. No. This is
I'm not watching the third one.
Is gone.
Like you're gonna have to convince me to watch the third one because if that was or make it Luigi's Mansion and then I'll just watch it. But like it just they try to do too much when they could have just taken space to breathe.
Yeah. They packed in the references as if they were scared they would never make another film again.
Yeah. Like they were worrying about no longer selling games. Like they were like, we need to, because like
get all in now. The house is burning down.
Get on Mario. Yeah, like where are you going? You're doing fine. Like, what are you scared of? Yeah, it felt like very either lazy or panicky. Like I feel like it was more the lazy of like, yeah, whatever, we'll just throw this in. We're gonna print money.
Okay. So, like we talked about this, the film is a loose emphasis on loose adaptation of the 2007 Super Mario Galaxy, which, as Sashi mentioned, did win Best Game Award at the 2009 BAFTA Game Awards. It's a very, very good game. Probably maybe my favorite. That Odyssey is very good as well. And yeah, those two, very good, very good. I mean, Nintendo makes good Mario games. So, but the idea is there. But then, like we said, they've mashed different properties in there. But for the film itself, we do see Mario and crew like just zipping around different worlds to get to, or not necessarily to get Princess, but really to get Rosalina back. But they're after Princess Peach, who is after Rosalina. And what's interesting is the structure of it, like Tazzii's mentioned, is like it's not there. I feel because you could argue the film was barely there in the first one, but I feel there's something you can hang on to. But then here they didn't even do that. So I was trying to put together the pieces that I read out in the overview. So we get Rosalina, who is kidnapped by Bowser Jr., and that's because he wants his dad back and to do with the world that he's created. Cool, okay, got it. But then we don't see her much at all. And then we've got Princess Peach, who in this feels like the main character. I don't know if others would agree. And then Mario and Luigi almost feel like an afterthought in terms of like narrative. I don't know, do people feel like that?
Yeah, I think the focus was on kind of like the sister story, whereas the brother story was the first film, right?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, very much so, yeah, from brothers to sisters. But it wasn't as focused on the sisters as it could have been. And then
Yeah, I agree. I was honestly thinking it's just sort of speeding through the different relationships very quickly. So I can't even say that Princess Peach felt like the key character here. It felt like everyone was trying to be the key character, or they couldn't decide who was the key character. That's what it felt like to me.
Yeah, that's how it felt to me, because then equally I'd say like Bowser Jr. had a lot of screen time, and like it was mainly about
him.
Bowser, the Bowsers relationship, but like I can't say that it is because they didn't spend enough time on screen
Yeah.
No.
to say that it's that. So I agree with Sashi.
Yeah.
It was felt like fighting for whose story it was, and then I was like, Fox was getting too much screen time.
Oh, we'll get to him. Yeah.
Why are you even here? You don't even go here.
You all good questions. All good questions. I mean, the reason I say Peach's story is because on this like hero's journey, you have the call to adventure. So the hero receives a call to action, and I feel that's what Peach got. So Rosalina is in distress. Peach gets a call to action, and then goes, and then everyone's helping her achieve that. That's why I put her, not necessarily coherence or of the plot, but just for that reason. But to balance some of this out, there were some sort of positives from the first. I feel Luigi got a bit more in at least the A plot in this. He got a bit more to do. I did feel the whole sort of Bowser worrying about his impact as a father and doubting himself for the brief moment that was a consideration. That was a potential interesting thread. Like Tazziii said, is still on the still weaving its way. And then Bowser Jr. He was an interesting character, at least from a fighting perspective. I thought his scenes were quite creative in terms of like the way he fought. So there's a plus points for me. I just want to insert some balance in there. But as I was watching this, I started thinking. Well, I had many thoughts. We're gonna as we go, but I mean, I feel like we've seen this before, where they do the first film, and usually with like franchise things, they do the first film, and then there's like a temptation to go wider instead of deeper and pack more in. What is that? What's the thinking behind that? Does anyone want to hazard a guess? Because I've seen it a lot, and it's like a common pitfall with sort of typically franchise films. Just like, oh yeah, the first one worked, throw more characters at it.
It feels like it's trying to have something for everyone,
Yeah, but
like
did first
the
film
old
not have
quadrants
something
or
for
whatever.
everyone?
Like, so I had my daughter on one side of me and my son on the other, and my son really liked the Bowser parts of it. My daughter liked the Yoshi parts of it, and I felt it almost like a Disney princess movie. It felt like it felt very similar to like Wish, the movie that Disney made
Oh yeah,
recently, but I
yeah,
enjoyed
yeah.
it more than Wish. Again, probably because I know more Disney references than I know Mario references.
So in your case, Sarah, you're saying, so like with Wish, because you know more about Disney, you were almost
Oh yeah, like it
had
annoyed
more
me because
expectations.
it annoyed me because it was packed full, like everything was like a reference. Like it was basically a movie made by committee to celebrate a Disney
Yeah.
anniversary. And it felt like less like a movie and more like everything was packed into it, which I think is what this movie feels like to people who are more familiar with Mario than I am.
Oh, that's interesting. Because I was going to ask if this, because I wondered, and I didn't think this film worked if you have no care for the Mario universe or
I
like
feel like
knowledge
it
of
works
characters.
better.
But
It
actually,
works
you're saying,
better.
yeah. Huh.
Well, at least in my view, like I was like, oh, and I actually liked it better than the first movie.
Wow.
Like maybe because I saw this one in the cinema, whereas I saw the first one at home, and I do think seeing things in the cinema enhances your experience.
Yeah.
But I thought,
agreed.
wow, it's quick and fun, and I can predict where everything's going pretty much. Except, ooh, is Bowser can we trust him or not? Like, okay, I guess we can. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was very beautiful to look at. I thought it was fun. I thought there were loads of really like cute moments in it. I thought it was like a little string of fun moments. But I do think because I didn't know the references, it just wouldn't annoy me in the same way as it would other people.
Right. Okay, that's interesting. That's not what I thought about. Okay.
I think a string of fun moments is a
It's a good
way to describe it, because I think that's the main thing that jarred me was, yes, the references, but the fact that it didn't feel like one like coherent plot. It did feel more like a string of fun moments. Like they weren't the same thing. They were just moments that happens.
Well, I'm surprised because I feel like the first movie did a better job of introducing characters and then making sure they at least showed up again, or they're at least there's some sense that they will show up again at the end of the finale, or
because they were
and
relevant to
be
the plot.
involved in the plot. This
Yeah.
one, you have characters showing up and then they disappear, and it's hard to feel connected to anything that's going on.
Yeah.
And also, and I've played the game, and I will say, like, I think it's well known that Mary doesn't have. It's a very big lore, okay, but I feel like for a movie they could have at least tried to make an engaging plot. But I mean, I wouldn't have minded if they went and did their own thing within the Super Mario Galaxy.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They just thought, oh, we need to just cram as many references as possible. We need to appeal to as many people as possible. Oh, it just felt like it was just rushing through everything. And you can't. I think the closest to an emotional hook was probably Bowser doubting if he was a good dad or not. That's
I agree.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I think I leaned into that. I was like, oh, okay, give it something.
Yeah, I feel like I just didn't care about anything. Like it looked. I don't think it looked as good as the first one, but it looked good. I just had a problem with some of like the way expressions were animated in this. It got really creepy at one point. But like it looked good.
Like for me, it was visually stunning, just emotionally hollow.
The characters were fun. Like I think like the introduction of Yoshi was fun. Do you know what the start the like the setups? There was a lot of good like setups.
Oh yeah, like literal introduction, not necessarily narratively, but like visually as you're seeing them on the screen.
But they just kind of like, because I feel like Yoshi got set up really well, like introduced and just like set up really well. And then I think Bowser's like new reform kind of got really set up. Our introduction to Bowser Jr. I think was really good. But I don't feel I got fulfilled on those like intros. They were like teasers.
Yes, didn't follow suit.
Yeah, my kids agreed with that. They said, we wish we could have spent more time with the characters than we did.
Okay. I love this. We're getting the kids.
Longer.
We're getting the kids' views. I like this. We need that. So the fascinating thing. This is the same team. So same directors, Aaron Horvath and Michael Yelenick, and the same screenwriter Matthew Fogel. So it's and that's what fascinated me. It's the same people, but in the first film, because look, Mario. It has long-standing lore, but it's not deep. Like, it's not. It's not.
It's
not The Last of Us.
So much as well.
So we accept that, and I think this is why I feel the first one did a good job of essentially had to insert some lore. So it was all about Mario and Luigi, essentially their journey to prove themselves as competent adults, and that was. I feel they did a good thing because that was something that again, you're dealing with something that doesn't have terribly deep lore. But you've inserted something that is relatable to the audience or some of the audience. Like you can get that either you're in that position or you've been on the other side of that position, judging someone, or you just understand that. So you could hang, and it it had a bunch of references for Mario Kart, Donkey Kong, all the things. But you can always narratively you can hang on something that these guys are trying to prove themselves, and by the end they prove themselves. Got it. But then the sequel seems to just lean more into the Easter eggs, the references.
I'm just thinking because the Peach's backstory, which I feel like could have been way more interesting, or like we could have felt it more, but they kind of when they mention it, so they mention Peach being found, not her actual birthday, and then we get the flashback like quite a bit later, but it's like just a quick flashback, and then by then you're like, oh, okay, I know what this this is. But it doesn't give that moment enough space to breathe. It doesn't give that like, oh, we're about to find Peach's long lost sister that she didn't even know she had. Like it's just kind of like, here it is. And like, there you go, there's the sister. Now they're friends, great. Like that's such an emotional thing. And it was just like skimmed over. We never got it's like did they actually want to make this film? That's my question. Or did they just want a payday? Like, it just feels like they wanted the payday and they were like, oh, yeah, we'll
I think they wanted to keep it light. I think that, very breezy, like I thought. Like, and I do think it was I feel like the second film is more, like, feminine coded than the first one.
Oh, what makes you say that?
Well, I mean, I really do feel, as someone who has watched every single Disney movie. It was very Disney. That was very Disney, like more than the first one. It reminded me of the Disney princess movies. It reminded me of the sequel to Ralph Breaks the Internet. There was something about it, and it always kind of it moves very fast. So like you don't have a chance to get bored, but except it never really wanted to devastate you too much either. Like the most devastated I felt was probably when Bowser fell into the lava.
Yeah, that was quite violent.
I was like, really? Oh, thank God, he's skeleton.
I felt zero devastation. I was like, oh, he's clearly not dead.
It's like, good.
No, it wasn't that. It was like, he clearly wasn't dead. Like, it just, I mean, I guess if I was younger, it might have. But
yeah, no, but I think just before I could think too long that he was actually dead, he wasn't dead.
Yeah, like I think it moved too fast for it.
But even in that situation where, because earlier they had, I think when Bowser Jr. was showing like, this is the world, and they had that bit where what are the characters called? Basically, they went on the roller coaster and they went into the lava and came out as skeletons. So kind of already showed you that. Going
really? Wow, no, I missed that. That was fast then.
It was. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they were on a roller coaster, so it was supposed to be fast. But they did go in and sort of come out, and everyone was happy. But then you mentioned the emotional side of it, because it did feel a lot like both you, Sara and Tazziii have touched on from different perspectives, that it seemed to like want to avoid going too deep emotionally, and there's lots of points that some of them we've mentioned already where it's sort of hinted at this could be a emotional hook, and it immediately like resolved it or just dropped it. I feel the one that really or not the main one, but the first one that stood out that just made me stand up and question was Yoshi, because at the very beginning they discover Yoshi and then they're like, what's your name? He's like, Yoshi, and they're like, cool, you're the third guy. No more questions. And I was thinking this, and I saw this in a review somewhere, but I was thinking that while watching it, because then they come back and like Toad's there, and I'm thinking, what's Toad thinking? Like, this guy's been there since at least the first film, and this guy Yoshi just turns up, and he went above you. It's like, how's that? With no questions asked. Like, damn.
Well, he was annoyed about it. He didn't like it.
Yeah, I like that it actually got addressed though. That like, who's this random guy who's just showed up?
Like literally.
So at least that bit got addressed and was like self-aware.
Yeah. I mean, I think we got him because we were promised him by the last film. Although, like, my son was like, I think he was in the last post-credits one, but my son was like, I think they could have done more with that. With his backstory.
I agree with your son. Yeah,
I agree completely agree with your son as well. Because, like, I get that clearly
tension between Toad and Yoshi.
That's what I'm saying. I could have, it could have been something.
I was thinking like a Woody versus Buzz Lightyear, the first Toy Story.
Yeah, some jealousy.
Instead, we got Yoshi eating people and pooping them out.
Yeah,
which was fun.
I get that they didn't want to. I wonder if, like, what happened is that they actually did have these emotional beats in there and Nintendo were like, too emotional. But the thing that bugs me is that if they didn't want to go down that emotional route, why include it at all? Like, it made it worse by putting it there but not actually addressing it, because it didn't need. It could have just been a fun journey without those, because they didn't add anything. And I think it actually took away, because you're then like, why
expecting with no
why is this is an emotional thing and you've ignored it. And I think that's almost worse than not having an emotional thing in there at all, because and what kind of message is that sending to children? Like,
well, something I wonder
ignore them, turn away.
Ignore them.
Something I wonder is, like, when you kind of look at how I feel like Nigel and me are like about the same generation, right? And you're probably maybe like a decade under us or more. And I do feel like films like aimed at children were more bleak before, and they kind of are getting like lighter and lighter and lighter and kind of like fluffier. And I wonder if that's because the real world is so overwhelming. But I mean, like the darkness of like the films that I grew up watching, the bleakness, the melancholy, which I really liked. I don't encounter that much in like family kind of stuff. Like, I feel like that about the Marvel movies as well. Most of them, I think most of them kind of avoid. I mean, they definitely have higher stakes than this movie did, but I think they kind of avoid it to give people escapism. And yeah, maybe
Yeah.
it's like, did you hear that young people were really into beige and gray,
No.
like kind of aesthetic, because of how turbulent like the past like 5+ years have been. They just like really kind
Just
of normal,
neutral.
kind of like neutral, safe things.
I thought that's because they don't want to be cringe. They're scared of it.
Oh, but it's covering up the fact that they don't want to be too sad when they feel so overwhelmed by everything else.
See, yeah, that's where they're all going wrong, and that's I get that. I get that movie's trying to avoid, but then they should have just avoided it altogether. They shouldn't have had those beats in
And not
there.
hinted.
Like, yeah,
not
it
done
could
it.
have been fun and enjoyable without giving a sad backstory for Peach. Like, she got abandoned. And I
Yeah.
think it makes it worse not addressing the
I
emotion.
don't think we still don't know exactly what was coming after her sister. I don't think.
No, we don't.
No.
But we know she got abandoned. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, in reality, if you get abandoned, it doesn't matter the reason for the abandonment. You feel abandoned.
It's the feeling of.
It's the feeling of. And like, just actually, that was a weird, like, Bowser Jr. got left left at a boarding school and doesn't care at all. Like, at all. He's like, nah, it's fine. What kid?
There was
ever?
everyone else there. It's typical upper class like upbringing.
Like, nah.
He's a prince.
Like, I love you 100. Like, there was not even a single beat of like, I kind of felt bad that you left me. It was like, no, I'm so happy.
Oh, didn't Bowser say he didn't think his son liked him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, now it's that kind of an emotional point where, like, again, I think Sashi mentioned it, where sort of Bowser having that moment of reflection, like being reunited with his son, like, oh, am I good enough? And then, yeah, we don't really.
Instantly he is. Instantly
Yeah,
he is.
You're the best, Dad. you
And he
always
had
were.
like a blink of doubt while he was still with it, and it went like he goes from being like, oh, they're my friends, to, oh, actually no, yeah, I am evil. Like that. Like, it doesn't.
That redemption story is like
There's no arcs.
non-existent.
There's no arcs in this. Like,
Bowser's redemption story was the unfinished bridge, like, to nowhere.
Oh, like, I get, yeah, it was fun. It was like a fun movie, but it was just flat. It makes me think of that conversation about them making shows and films for people that are scrolling on their phone, because this is a perfect scrolling on my phone film.
Like,
I ain't missing anything.
So I want to get to that.
I feel like they were getting. So, you know, the Super Mario franchise, the games as a whole, there is no emotional development. There is no character development. Everything gets reset for the next game. So you have all these funny. So you have, like, you can't give Bowser a redemption arc because in the games he's sometimes.
Because he needs to be who he is.
I get antagonist. So they can't follow through with that. So they have to, like, drop at the end. And then you have the thing where Mario has a crush on Princess Peach. They can't follow through with that. They can't follow through with that because it doesn't happen in the games.
Yeah, she was at another castle.
So I think they're stuck in this weird cycle where they would like to do these emotional.
They don't really have character development.
They don't have character development in the games, and they're scared of, like, alienating fans, because if Mario gets with Peach in the movie, then fans might be angry, for example. Or if Bowser completely redeemed himself with Bowser Jr., then that's going against what's happening in the game.
Yeah.
You say that, at the end of the film, Bowser and Bowser Jr. redeemed themselves. But there was zero villain. Also, you could quite easily have Mario's crush on Peach and it just be unrequited love, where she's like, no, we're just BFFs, and it would fit perfectly with, like, the games. Yeah. Because she's always in a different castle, the thing that he could never get to. So the unrequited love storyline would work perfectly for that. Or just, like, her being like, even if she does like him, she's like, I want to work on myself. I've just met my sister. got that relationship to deal with. I don't disagree with you. I just think that's a cop out for the creators.
Yeah, also
With
because
that.
they did do something about it in the first film. So
Yeah.
this is almost what I might have feared the first film would have been. But it's
Yeah.
even weirder because it's the second film. So you did the best, I feel. But Sashi makes a good point about the expectations of the franchise. I actually overlooked that in terms of, by this point, like Mario is Mario, and obviously in the very early days, Mario went through different changes and things like that, and in the 1993 film and everything, and then Nintendo sort of clamped down more on this Mario and nothing else, and with much of their characters. But yeah, I guess there's only so far you can go. So is it then that just means the Mario franchise and maybe other franchises? I say Mario just because it's got the least depth in terms of like core story of many of the Nintendo franchises. It just makes it's inherently hard to adapt this into some sort of coherent film. Was that first film the squeezing the narrative blood from the Mario Stone? Was that it? And then the rest is just memes and references from here on out.
I think Sashi, you kind of mentioned it earlier, of like they could have made it in Super Mario Galaxy and just made it something else in that universe.
I feel like what they could have done, was make their own story set in that universe.
Yeah.
Maybe plot its own path, like kind of like how the Fallout series is its own story within the Fallout universe. Like they could accept, okay, the Mario movie universe is different from the Mario game universe, but it feels like to me they're trying really, really hard to please both sides, and so you end up with this non-story.
It must have to go through so many approvals. I can imagine.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure.
Like that's the thing with these things as well, is like it could start off quite interesting and then you just have to keep taking things out of it because no. I mean, what it feels like it does the most is really like, I mean, it made me think, oh, I think I want to play that Super Mario Galaxy game, like the recent one. Like it sold me a bunch of stuff. Like
Yeah, I can see that. I do. Did anyone else feel like it was a bit of a setup for a Nintendo Universal universe, like a
Smash Bros? We're getting a multiverse.
Yeah, I was like, no, do not Marvel this. Do because you're not. No one can do what Marvel did. Like just stop trying. And it feels like you're trying to set that up. And that scares me. I'm very scared of that.
Oh, with the Fox character, do you think?
Not just Fox. There was so many.
Game and Watch randomly appearing at the end.
Yeah. There was like things in the background.
This is a Galaxy movie. Why are you here?
Why are you here? I was like, just like that when they're in that the space place where like
the Gateway Galaxy.
Yeah, like, I'm looking at the background,
like the Pikmin as well.
And the Pikmin, and I'm like, please don't, please do not do
Oh,
this.
was that a Pikmin, the planty looking thing? Okay.
Yeah, there was a few different things in the background that were not from Mario, and I'm like, no, we don't. I'm like, please,
brace for it, Tazziii.
Please tell me that you're just doing that to sell your other games and not
depends
to
on the
set
internet
up
reaction.
Like, especially with Fox's animation as well, like his little not
face plant thingies do really well, don't they?
I would say, because actually I was going to mention Fox was. Fox was funny. I didn't mind the character, but
I liked Fox's character. Yeah,
my notes where he was like, basically, I don't know this for the fact because I wasn't in the writing room, I wasn't in the editing room, but I feel there were 3 bullet points for Fox in this film. Number 1, cool. number 2, plot, and number 3, game coming out ? And that is it. And as those 3 points, and they nailed each one.
I think it was really fitting that he was voiced by Glenn Powell.
I like Glenn Powell. Glenn Powell's he's like a classic. He looks like the kind of Hollywood star they don't make anymore.
Kind of like Chris Evans, isn't he? You know, not the ginger British one.
I assume that one. No, he reminds me. I mean, I'm not of an age, but I feel like, I don't know, 50s or 60s movie stars. He has that look. Yeah, no, he's fine. He's fine. It's just, why is he here? Why are you here?
He's
I have
doing
no
a lot
idea. Why.
lately. He's doing a lot lately. He's like
Yeah,
paying his dues. He's
yeah, he's
getting
a
in
guy.
everything.
He's a guy. No, fair play to him. But yeah, no, that's an example. He's there for plot, like, and there's no real reason. Although he did have the 2D animation as well was cool.
Yeah, I feel like he's the most solid part of this film.
Yeah.
Like, he knew his place, he knew his purpose, he had his arc, he had his story. Like,
He was
he
very
was
sad when his plane was hurt.
Yeah,
Another emotional beat they could have delved into, failure, because he's very, sure of himself kind of character. Obviously, a moment of failure, but no, we don't
but
get
then
to
he
stop
was
on that.
meant to be like a side character, so it worked. I feel
Fair. Yeah, that's fair. But then everyone was a side character in that.
Yeah, everyone was a side character.
It's-
But he felt solidly like
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was. He didn't feel
He
like
was
he
in the
was
right role.
fighting to be in a different. He was just. He was a side character. This is my purpose. This is why I'm here. And I'm not trying to be anything else.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. So then what I wanted to get to with the question by the end, because by the end, usually we do sort of the wrap up, and I've got I can't really talk about themes. There's a struggle there. But, we talk about, like, did it stick the landing? Did it all come together? I feel like it, in some ways, so Sara, like, because you're coming from a different perspective, so I feel like it just worked for what it was there to do. It worked. And then I feel in terms of like narratively, it didn't really, because just too many threads and it didn't all connect. So we get, Rosalina gets rescued, although she didn't have much input in the final battle, unless I'm misremembering. She just gets saved. So by Peach, they touch hands and do all that.
He fixed the fox. The fox's.
They fix the fox. Yeah, they build the castle with, like, no problem. If they can bring some of that building work to the UK, we got some stuff in central London that
you just got to go 2D. You just got to go 2D.
Yeah, that's what we're missing. All right, let's get Sadiq Khan on the phone and, like, tell him go 2D, get these houses built. Because that was that, and then the film ends, and then that's it. It was kind of like okay, cool, it's done. So what I want to get to is this is actually the third. Usually, I feel like this is a quirk of the schedule, because I usually try and mix up different types of films. But this is like the third, because we did Zootopia, we did Goat, and this one. We've talked about it. And the question that comes up is, it's a kid's film. And I feel that's not a good enough excuse, I personally feel. And Sara, you mentioned your children have even, like, voiced some, I wish there was more.
We spent more time with the characters. I wish we got to know them better.
Yeah.
Wish it was longer.
So then I feel this film, and somewhat for Goat in certain places, but definitely for this film, it doesn't respect kids' curiosity and intelligence like the games do. I feel obviously different mediums, the agency and all that, but even the first film that we talked about had a narrative core that seemed lacking here. And like you said, Tazziii, it feels like the TikTok generation of just think quick things and keep it moving. Goat did a bit of this. Even Zootopia moved quick, but Zootopia, I think, of the three, was just clearly sort of a step above narratively. And it just feels like, there are people who say, if it's aimed at kids, we do not care about the narrative so much. Make it move fast, make it dazzle. And I feel that's an insult to kids' intelligence. Because if, like Sara, you said your kids are saying, we wish we spent more time with the characters, give them good characters and, some depth in there. I'm going to throw it in again. So the anime does it better. It's like throw in some deep, complex things and do it in a way that kids can still connect with.
They spelled it all out for us, really. Because, I mean, like, you could tell.
Absolutely.
Like, you're like, okay, I think there's like 15 minutes left, so I guess it's going to finish soon. We're at that point. But, I mean, there is a different way they could have approached it, where either we focus more on Peach or focus more on Mario and Luigi. I wonder if it's tricky because Mario kind of feels like Mickey Mouse to me. Like he's like the mascot, like he feels like a mascot of Nintendo. But I never I'm not that excited about like a Mickey Mouse movie. Okay. Like I'd be like, oh, that seems kind of boring, which is why actually I was surprised that I found the Mario Brothers movies fun. I think it's because of the humor. I think that is one thing they do quite well. Like, it's very thin, but the the humor is good. Like
Yeah.
like that little moment between Mario and Fox, where they just stare at each other and like you're like, ooh, like beef, because maybe
Yeah.
he's a rival for Princess Peach's attention.
That's
And then
what I
it's just
thought. But it's
really
like, oh, he's cool.
Yes.
Yeah. That was good. Yeah.
I did like Yoshi's montage and
Yes.
yeah.
And then they're like, well, we'll never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, the humor patches up a lot of stuff, I think,
Yeah.
But I think like those moments were made to be memed. That's
Yeah. I was just gonna say, like, just going back to the not respecting kids' intelligence and curiosity. I think it also doesn't. I don't think the second Mario movie is going to be one that a kid that watches it now is going to grow up be like, oh my god, this movie, we've got to watch it again. And I
Mm,
feel like that's another thing that making movies this shallow
right. They'll be
still
lost. They won't carry.
takes away. Yeah, like because I'm sure we all have kids' movies that profoundly impacted us as kids, or like that we really enjoyed as kids,
Yeah.
and then watched back again later in life and been like, wow, this is actually deep, and like
Mm.
Yeah.
pick up on that. You
And you
pick
see
up
something
on the
different
things.
each time where you're like, oh wow,
Yeah,
like now I see the middle-aged character's point of view.
yeah. And like, does anyone as well go back and watch a movie and then that they watched that they really enjoyed as a kid, that like they feel really attached to as a kid, and then notice things that they'd learned from watching that movie, and then you're like, oh, that's probably why
Oh yeah.
I'm really like this, that like
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
really important to me because
Like you held on to that.
this movie had that impact, or at least was a significant part of making that impact on like like how you view friendship, or like whatever it is, like it's impacted you in a way that you've learned something that you subconsciously learned but you can reflect on
Mm,
like when you're older and be like, I see where I picked that up from.
yeah.
And I feel like that is lost in a movie like this. And same with kind of like Goat, they're so shallow that it doesn't hold the same weight. And I don't know, like maybe I'm wrong.
No, I agree with
We'll
that.
have to wait
Yeah,
like
see what the
50
kids
years
see. Yeah.
to figure it out. But
See what the
that's
kids
what
in
it
10 years
seems
are
like
like.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
because like
not willing to be melancholic, and I think melancholy is quite a good quality in a children's film.
yeah.
Mm,
Like I definitely know that my mum there's films that I watched as a kid and enjoyed as a kid that my mum will still enjoy, and then she'll be like, oh yeah, you remember that film that you really liked as a kid, and
mm.
have that impact. And I feel like I don't I don't feel like these films are hitting it, but also I don't have kids, so maybe I'm wrong, and we won't
No,
know how they
I
impact
mean,
them.
their curiosity is alive and well. Like they like they like complicated relationships between people. Yeah, I think my favorite movies watching as a kid, they're the ones that made me cry at some point,
Yeah.
and probably will make me cry every time I watch them. And this wouldn't
Mm.
make me cry. Like there is no chance of crying at this film, I
No,
don't think.
it's yes, just not that type of film. And I feel, yeah, Tazzy, you've kind of hit on an important thing that, like, in the moment today, will be or could be missed, as we mentioned at the top. Very commercially successful film. There are going to be more of these in some way, but yeah, that kind of beneath the surface, like, what are kids' films for? And I think for me as well is just being involved in areas like with BAFTA, with like Children's Media Conference, and listening to like adults, industry professionals talk about the purpose of kids media has given me some new insight, and it's very important because it does shape it shapes their worldview. It shapes obviously parents as well, but like, whether you like or not, media does have a big impact. I always feel it's important to remember that for just as humans, most of what we get, how we view the world comes from a story of some kind, because we percentage wise we view very little firsthand of like the totality of what happens in the world and what has happened in the world. So stories are important. I feel for kids it's important for shaping that worldview and what values they hold them, and yeah, what they're aware of. So yeah, this does
Like,
miss it. And oh, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, like, I mean, the Mario will be able to make a movie later on, and it think like, but if this didn't have the like Mario Nintendo badge on it, this film wouldn't be able to get to like. I'm just thinking of like Toy Story. He's got a fifth movie coming out, and like,
Oh no, but
obviously,
yeah,
like and we're gonna talk about that on the podcast. I know people with like younger kids that they've watched all of the Toy Story movies together. They all enjoy them. Like, this isn't one that you'd be like,
This
yeah,
isn't that.
we can go back and watch it, and you're gonna enjoy it, I'm gonna enjoy it, and then we're gonna watch the new one, and I'm gonna still be like, yes, this is a core memory. Like, yeah, just it's not that.
And there's a great quote I got from Ryan Gua. It's quite a long quote. Ryan Gua from a website called Squiggly, which I'd never heard of, but I feel the quote is really good. I'll go through the whole thing because I feel it encapsulates the whole thing we've been discussing. And he says, the Super Mario Galaxy movie is a direct consequence of the invention of the endless scroll, emulating the feeling of passing through your social media app of choice for 90 minutes, activating your thumb muscles the second something gets a little too boring. The next time you scroll through your phone, ask yourself how many of the posts or videos you actually remember. The likely answer is in the single digits. Our brains are being trained to toss out the information received by our eyes as soon as we take it in. And the Super Mario Galaxy movie is intricately designed to feel the exact same way. And I feel that's that's unfortunately it. That's what it feels like. Like it is good in the moment, but forgettable. And yeah, it's an interesting way to make a film. Obviously, it works. I feel we've talked about the visual aspect and some of the characters, but I don't know if there's any other characters anyone wants to mention that you might have remembered. I didn't know Donald Glover voiced Yoshi. That was
that's a very Vin Diesel Groot kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know how much he was paid for that.
Yeah. I mean, probably my lines, probably the most, like relatively speaking, in terms of money received versus lines voiced, I imagine.
There's so many characters.
There are a lot of characters, yeah. And it's very celebrity-heavy cast, which I guess is, again, a way to do it. Because I think going back to the first one, Nintendo needs this to work because they didn't want, a failure like the first Mario film. The first Mario film. So yeah, put famous names on the poster. It works. But it doesn't always work, but it obviously does work here.
What? You don't think Bill Hoskins was a heavy hitter back in the day?
For the intended audience, no. but point taken. He did have his moments. But yeah, no, I think we talked about the main characters. No one else sort of stands out to me. I just needed to make sure I mentioned Fox because that was such a.
There was one actually that's in my notes. It's the Toad that was wearing the Mario pajamas.
Yeah, she had a good line. It's like, what was the line?
It was like something about not agreeing.
Yeah,
I disagree.
My pajamas.
Yeah,
say
otherwise. Yeah.
Well, I liked him as well.
And the Donkey Kong star. There was a star that would wear the Donkey Kong tie. Like was.
Oh, was that what it was? Gosh, I thought that was like
that.
the Lord of the Flies reference or something. Like wearing
he was the one that's always like, yeah, the donkey. I want to hear about Donkey Kong. He's like.
Yeah, again, I feel the one thing you could get from a rewatch here is references. Like
I thought the bee was a cool character, the really big bee.
Oh, the queen bee.
The queen bee.
Yeah. So,
voiced by Issa Rae.
Yeah. So that's an interesting moment. Yeah. So yeah, and that was a moment because Bowser gave himself up and did a whole self-sacrifice thing. But yeah.
Luma was there at the end.
Luma Lee.
Oh, I could. Yeah. That was a shame because I like that character. It was funny in the
nihilistic star.
Yeah, and they only got like a mid-credits thing at the very end. So that was funny. That was a funny moment, but it's just a shame like that character because that was a funny character in the first film.
For me, I think that was the standout character from the first movie. But I guess they didn't want to rehash it all over again.
Yeah, you think if they were talking about the Mother of Stars, we might learn a little bit more about Luma Lee's backstory.
Yeah.
You would, but...
But
again, he's scared to hit the emotional beats of a star.
And usually at this point I talk about themes, but I generally scratch around for themes and just decided there were none. There were no themes. There were kind of theme threads, like we talked about Bowser and Junior's relationship, Rosalie's sacrifice to protect Peach, because Ellen has an identity crisis, don't know who she is or where she's from. I thought, even though Fox is a side character, is so this confident character at a low point, but none of those were really explored.
Oh, one thing I really liked was when they were kind of going over Princess Peach's, when she was sent back, and they said the Toads like raised her and protected her until she could protect them, and I thought that was nice.
When was that?
Oh,
it's when they rehash, like when they kind of revisit the scene of her being dropped into the portal, and then you see her sister let her go.
Yes, yeah.
Like she didn't lose a grip on her, she let her go, but now it's because she was trying to save her. And then it's a story that she's telling the Lumas about her sister so that they understand together. But I thought that was a nice little bit, because that thing, I think, speaks to kids, I think that speaks to like parents and kids, how you look after the next generation, and then the next generation can look after you when you're like not as strong.
That's a full theme, emotional thing in there that probably wasn't in the film, but
I read too much into it. Undistracted by all the references. I'm really digging deep.
No, so you did my job for it, because I was struggling. Usually I can pick something up, but there was nothing I could see in terms of that. So
weirdly, my friend who didn't, she plays the Mario games, but she never played Mario Galaxy. She thought maybe Rosalina was going to be Peach's mother.
I mean, I kind of think she could be her mother. I mean, older sister, that's a common story, Like
in the games, though, they never confirmed if they're related or not in any way.
I think because based on the tiny deep dive I did, because I'd never heard of the character Rosalina, though my son had, it said that they had the idea for her to be related to Peach, but then they dropped it, but they brought it back for the movie. So in the game, she's not related, but in the movie, she is. Also, I felt she looked like Elsa from Frozen.
Yeah. That's what I thought they were. Yeah, going for like the sort of
like her outfit. She looks like her blue outfit. She looked like Elsa.
But I feel like that was, for me, like that they didn't know what the theme was for this movie, because if it was parenthood, I feel like they wouldn't have said sister. I felt like they would have gone mother, daughter, to mirror Bowser Jr.
Bowser Jr., yeah.
But then they went with sisters. So then it's like, so then why didn't you concentrate on Mario and Luigi?
Why she's a single mom, and that calls into question story about like her morality. It's a bit like Andy's mom in Toy Story. It's like, was there a dad at any point?
Oh yeah.
But instead, they're just two sisters with no parenthood, because
they are orphans. And that's even
my thing was that they were just spawned
stardust
on the universe. Yeah, that was it. They're made of stardust, aren't they?
Oh yes, of course. Yeah. I could forget. Yeah, running around on the planet and everything. Yeah, was there? I don't know, any other not theme, but moment.
Yeah, I have one that I took note of. It's the security system.
The security.
Yeah, Bowser Jr.'s security system on the planet. He's like, "Don't worry, Dad. I got a great security system." And he goes into his little CCTV room, and then everything on the CCTV camera is in 2D, like the old games. And then it's him like pressing buttons to activate things that exist within the games. And that was hilarious. That was a reference done really well. Like that, yeah, I really enjoyed that. That was fun.
I prefer it when references feel like they're part of the story or part of the world. I don't like if you just cram it and expect people to go, "Oh yeah, I recognize that. I recognize that." There's no logic for that to be there.
It's either got to be part of the story, or it's got to be it's got to be in the background that like you don't notice it unless you really notice it. Like
I kind of like the way like in old Pixar, they would put references to future movies in the background of the current film.
Future movies? Yeah, of like Toy Story, or like of other Pixar?
No, because there's the whole Pixar universe theory.
Had like a mic. Somebody had a mic toy in the background, but Monsters Inc. didn't come out till like 2 years after that movie.
The Pixar shared universe. There you go.
Like, I don't know if you've also observed with the younger generation how into clues they are. So,
No.
like, I worked on a game with a very big young audience, and they were obsessed with like the tiniest details representing something else. That they're like detectives. They just they kept hacking into the game so they could
Right.
figure out and then leaking stuff that was going to happen.
Yeah.
But they made up lore about things that there wasn't lore about yet, and sometimes the lore happened because they really were building things around little things. They're like, oh, look at this tiny area of the world in which there is a funny plant that does this means this. They're like
I do feel like in the making of this film and sort of similar films, there's really, and I guess this doesn't make me feel old because I'm watching it, so like this is not for me, or at least the people making it do not have, other than sort of Nintendo fan and making a game. Obviously, that's a big part of it, but just I'm talking from a film like narrative perspective. They're like, kids today, what are they into, and just make it quick and make it fast, and it just feel, I can see those discussions happening through what they show on screen.
Yeah, I think they're really into clues because they expect it. They expect them now. Like for like older generations, we like Easter eggs and like these little clues were a way of, like, in games it was a way of creators to put themselves in it, and it's the same with animation. Like it's kind of like them adding a little bit, like a little signature to say like I was here. And then people started to expect it, so then storytellers started to put things in very purposely, and so now I think we're at a stage where the current generation, they're just expecting it. You expect a post trailer credits, you expect clues and Easter eggs and secrets to be in the media, like whatever medium it is, it's expected. So they're looking for it. And I think it could ruin the enjoyment sometimes.
Yeah. I think there's a larger commentary on like just people want answers. Everything's got to mean something, and I have to do it now, and I'm going to find it, and
Yeah.
you need to give me the answer now, otherwise there's a problem, and I'm going to flip out. Yeah, I feel that is then reflected in the stories where not a lot can be allowed to breathe. And we've talked about this with like anime. I mean, Sashi mentioned Frieren. It's like nothing's happening because I need the hit now. I
Yeah.
can't wait for it to build up. I just need it now, and otherwise I'm going to go on Twitter and say this film sucks and nothing happens in it. So now then the filmmakers, if they allow themselves to, will be like, all right, Netflix make notes like something big's got to happen if it's an action film in that first 5 minutes to hook people because they're on their phone, because people are on their phone, so we got to counteract that. It's a feedback loop of a bad
It's like
kind.
what I heard or read an article about Apothecary Diaries, and it was someone saying something similar, that it was like slow and there wasn't much going on. And I'm like, you are not watching that anime then, because there is so much going on and there are so many clues. There's so many like piece it together moments. But let me not make this a
But I heard
podcast.
it's like with the like as you mentioned about making it easier for people to watch a film while on their phone. That's why you have those awkward dialogue where they're sort of telling you
the
what's
exposition
right now. Exposition, lots of exposition happening.
Reiterating plot points, because it's a whole. I mean, maybe we should do an episode on that. Because that's a whole thing.
What, the media literacy kind of thing on it?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So you have like shows like Apothecary Diaries and Frieren where you have to pay attention to what's on the screen. It's slower.
Imagine that.
The story is folding on slowly, and some people I've met, they don't like it. Some people I spoke to, they just want action all the way through.
Is genuinely a problem. I mean, not for Mario, because they definitely got that. So yeah, that's it. This has been the episode of older people talk about kids today.
What the young people like and what they understand,
and
what they deserve.
So hopefully, you've enjoyed us speaking about the film longer than the film actually lasted. Thank you for sticking in. This has been our discussion on the Super Mario Galaxy movie. if I'm guessing none of the audience listened to this because this has gone on way too long for for that audience, I know that for sure. But if you're a parent of one of those people and you like this discussion, get in touch. Let us know your thoughts on the film. How did your kids enjoy it? Because I know they are not listening to this, or maybe someone will cut this up into bite-sized chunks and just put those chunks on TikTok, and then someone will catch up on it later. But yeah, before we wrap up for this week, we want to get into our storytelling tip. Each time we do a deep dive on the podcast, I like to put out a storytelling tip for others to consider when making their stories. So this is a consideration from someone who also creates stories and likes to learn from the techniques or mistakes of others. And for this episode, I wanted to discuss the redemption arc, or lack thereof, in this film. But it's an interesting thing for me. So redemption arcs can be difficult to execute in stories because they really need audiences to pay attention for one, and also like change an emotional judgment that they might have already made about a character. And it's not just about becoming good all of a sudden, or pitching in at the last minute to help the heroes in the final battle. It's about changing the whole perception. So we, the audience, have to believe that someone who caused harm in the past has meaningfully confronted what they did, accepted the consequences, and shown change through actions rather than words or just like plot. So there's structural work in that to make that land. And if it's rushed or just underdeveloped, audience will feel the gap between what the narrative is trying to tell us and what feels actually earned. And so redemption is not just about intention, like I want to do this, I want to be better. It's about responsibility. And effective arcs generally require some kind of acknowledgement of the harm caused, some kind of change behavior under pressure, important that part, under pressure, a cost, sacrifice, something along those lines, and then repairing the damage caused. So I did actually speak about redemption arcs way back in episode 37 when we talked about Logan, which had a really good redemption arc there. And I feel the attempted redemption arc in Super Mario Galaxy movie shows the other side of it not being done well. So the film kind of sort of maybe wanted some sort of emotional release in the redemption of Bowser without fully committing to doing what is required to make that transformation believable. So the result was like an unconvincing character turn and then sort of a turn back anyway. And the core issue is it's not just that the film moves quickly, which it does, it's that the story's structural like priorities are just don't work with the amount of emotional work you need to do to make that land. So there were moments where the film kind of hinted towards some sort of emotional vulnerability for him to the relationship with his son and questions over his performance as a dad. But it's not too much examination of how like he understands himself or what specific beliefs have to change and collapse for him to genuinely change. And yeah, the timing doesn't help. Film's very short, not necessarily a bad thing, but just everything feels so compressed and speeds along, and emotional beats are simplified or just abandoned altogether. So it can still work in that, but yeah, you do generally need to give it that space. And every time I talk about redemption arcs, I have to mention the best one. I say the best one in just like storytelling is Prince Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender. That works because that series really dedicates a lot of time like in the narrative to the mechanics of his transformation. So yeah, he couldn't do that in a single film. To be fair, is a 3 series story, because it's like you see him kind of change, he takes steps back before going forward and eventually becomes a different people. So that's a series, it does have an advantage. But even something we talked about fairly recently in a film like A Silent Voice, which does work within a whatever length 2-hour film, and it's all structured around like the emotional work of accountability that the protagonist has to go through. So it's not just like a single emotional pivot, but it's like an ongoing confrontation with the consequences of his bullying as a kid. So it does the work, it returns to his discomfort, shame, awkwardness, failed attempts, and it hits. So something to keep in mind. So here's a few tips to consider when building your own redemption arc in your story. So number 1, match the redemption to the scale of harm. So think about the specific harm that the character has caused and think about how much narrative space you might need to address that meaningfully. So if it's something very big, like a silent voice, very big thing. Got to think about the amount of time or like narrative space you need for that redemption. Number 2 is build like a visible chain of events. So you have to make sure that each stage of that transformation actually matches logically to the next, which Super Mario Galaxy doesn't necessarily have a lot of in terms of like logic. But yeah, us, the audience, should be able to see like exactly why the character's worldview begins to like change. So again, I keep mentioning silent voice, but yeah, it's just the worldview is gradually just dismantled, just a lot of negative emotions, but it does the job. And number 3 is let the consequences survive the redemption. And I really like that about different films, is everything doesn't just get wiped around. So you preserve that the damage done, even though that character is now a different person. Things have happened and they remain, and it's part of the story. So yeah, it's short. If it's a short run time, it is not impossible. It might make it harder, but it can be done. It's just not necessarily done in the case of this film. Just you have to think about it a bit more, or not, or just put more references in. But generally speaking, yeah, depending on the story, people will accept like big transformations as long as the structure is in there. So something to think about from this film. Definitely has given me something to think about. So that's the tip for this episode. Let us know if you're working on your own redemption arc. You can jump in our Discord, let us know there, or email us studio77@mymatter.com. Let's check in before we wrap with our guests and what they're up to.
Before we let our guests go, do you want to tell us where they can find your work or anything that you've got coming up? And we'll start with Sashi.
I don't really have anything coming up. I've got an Instagram, Sashi Sketches, but that's it. I mean, I guess I'm still working on a few video game scripts in an editing capacity, but that's
Cool.
That's kind of it.
Nice. Yeah, for sure. Everyone make sure you check out Sashi's Instagram. And then Sara, let's go to you next.
So you can find me Digital Brouhaha on Instagram. I don't post that often, but it's probably the place I'm most active besides LinkedIn. And it's down right now, but I think by the time this episode goes up, it'll be back up. I'm refreshing my website for my consultancy, Hubbub, HUHBUB.com, just kind of putting together all my previous projects and kind of explaining exactly what it is I do, because that when you like, I just like following my curiosity, so that I'm just kind of having to look at patterns and what I've been doing to actually try and describe it so that people can figure out how to work with me. But yeah, all that's coming up really is Games Aid stuff. We'll be announcing our new charities in the coming weeks. So that'll be exciting, which charities we're fundraising for this year, chosen by members of our members. And membership is open to everybody in the UK games industry. And it's free, and it means that you can nominate grassroots charities, and then they might end up being the one that we fundraise for.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah, that sounds like such a great mission. But yeah, we'll make sure we add some links in the show notes so that you can find everything easily.
Yeah, and thank you both for joining us on this breakdown of what there was of the Mario Galaxy movie.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a string of fun moments, this conversation, as well as the movie.
Yeah, we equal amounts. So cool. Yeah,
I
appreciate.
really enjoyed it. Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, really lovely. Really lovely to share the call with you, Sashi.
Oh, it was lovely to meet you as well. Thank you.
There we go. Even if the film wasn't all there, you can still have a good discussion and learn something from it. So hopefully listeners took something from that. Again, our runtime, I think, is longer than the film and more emotional roller coasters as well. So yeah, enjoy that. Yeah, and elsewhere with Maya Mada, we have the launch of the Do I Look Like a Gamer campaign coming up soon. So this is our yearly campaign showcasing 40 players and makers who prove the very fact that everyone can play and make games, everyone can win as well. So we like to capture the diversity that does exist in gaming to inspire the next generation of talent. So we have a launch live stream coming up on the 16th of May. If you head to looklikeagamer.com myamada.com. You'll be able to find out a bit more about that, especially how you'll be able to hear us tell the story of how we got to 200 photos across all campaigns, and that ended in Barcelona. So I'm sure we'll make some time in that live stream to share share that story. So if you want to get involved, join the live stream, because we're going to be talking about the things that we're going to be doing. But yeah, visit looklikeagamer.com. You can also email us if you're interested in being involved, partnering in any way. hello@looklikeagamer.com. Also wanted to remind people that Story X Story is one of our shows on the Studio 77 platform. This is where we host different shows with creative professionals. We also play games for your amusement as well. We've got shows like the Studio 77 Report, casual conversations with comic creators, games night as well. So make sure you're following myamada on Twitch, on YouTube as well. You can catch us when we go live. I'm getting better at remembering to do the YouTube live streaming as well. So yeah, but do both just in case. And if you're a young aspiring creative professional, or you know one, then check out the myamada Showrunners Work Experience program. So we are creating opportunities for young people aged 16 and up to work with our team across comic production, events, content creation. We just wrapped up one cohort. We're looking for people for the next. We've got another whole training program with people who will be joining us at Comic-Con. So yeah, join us there as well. You were able to see, and you can judge for yourself how effective our methods are. And if you're interested in taking part, email us showrunners@myamada.com to find out more. So if you're enjoying this episode of Story X Story and the podcast in general, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a future episode. You can also give us a 5-star rating and review. That helps us reach new listeners and fans of story discussions. We release new episodes on Thursdays or thereabouts that include video game discussions, interviews with creative practitioners and professionals, and deep dives into stories across pop culture. You can always give us a shout directly. Our email address is studio77@myamada.com, and our website with links to subscribe is myamada.com/storyxstory. So thank you for tuning in, and until next time, stay safe. And remember, this film does teach you stuff, because if I took one thing, is if you don't stop for long enough, the emotions can't get to you. So keep moving.
That's a very healthy life lesson. Just keep moving.
Of course.
Don't get too sad.
Thanks, Nintendo. Take care, everyone.